Now, okay, sorry. Can I go back
Don't
to
apologize.
Egypt quickly?
Yeah.
Because there's a sick moment where Caesar goes to this Siwa oasis. He goes to Alexander's grave.
Oh boy.
Because when Alexander
He's fanning out.
Yeah, he does.
We love.
And he wears his like best golden armor.
Mm.
And apparently he like.
Is this his first visit?
And only.
And
he goes and he kneels and he weeps.
Really?
Because he's like, maybe he knows his end is near. You know, there's something about just the weight of what he has done, and he's at the away, and he weeps at Alexander's grave, and I just love that.
Mm. Yeah, that's how I felt when I went to Chipotle for the first time.
Does history repeat itself, or does it just rhyme? This is the podcast where a guy who knows his history talks to a guy who doesn't know it at all. The self-appointed greatest historian ever and his BFF Jono present History Rhymes.
Well, hello there. I'm Jono. I'm not going to say my last name. That's a policy on this podcast. And this is History Rhymes, a very special podcast where we go through historical figures and contrast them with modern-day events, or at least we try our best. And I have with me the author of this fine book on Julius Caesar.
Not at all.
Tom Holland. Tom? No way, you're Tom Allen.
You can't say my last name.
Oh,
That's
wait.
our number one policy is we don't say last names.
Can we censor that? We did not say any last names.
We have Jono say Tom Allen, but we will not be saying our last names now.
Right.
I want to be dead serious about that. Welcome to History Rhymes. This is exciting to be back with my boy Jono. Johnny on the drums.
That's how we relate to the youth.
Oh man, the youth get it.
Yeah,
Jono,
the youth,
Johnny.
This is for you youths.
Is Jono a name, right? Why is it a name?
Well, it's kind of a frat boy name.
But
I got it in college.
If by college you mean your mom gave it to you when you were born, then yeah.
By that I meant community college. No, I didn't get it from my mom. I got it from my best friend, who is actually the owner of this fine podcast studio.
Okay.
Our sponsor, Speakeasy Podcast Studios. The History of Rhymes podcast is brought to you by the Speakeasy Podcast Studio, where the speaking is easy and the bevies go down squeezy.
Like Gatorade.
Yeah, that's right. In our mugs.
Check out speakeasypodcast.ca.
It's at the bottom of the screen. Check it out.
So we're not best friends.
Can we say your name, Dan? Is that okay?
You're
Yes,
skipping
please, go
past
ahead.
this best friend thing here. I thought, how many best friends can you have?
You can have, I think, 3. It's 3. Yeah.
That's
You're allowed
right,
3.
3, because like the Trinity.
Yeah,
They're all
the
best
holy
friends.
trinity of
Yeah.
friends. Yeah, it's a
Okay.
good thing to have.
Speaking of the Trinity,
Max 5. You can have 5 in high school,
Okay.
and it goes down.
it starts at 5 in high school and
Goes
then it goes
to-
down.
Yeah.
Depending on how many piercings you get, tattoos.
Yeah, exactly. And how many fights you get in.
With the friends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Really, for a guy over 30, if you're seeing a guy once a year and you text him once a month, you're in the best friend category. Like, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's quickly review our concept here of history rhymes. So
I'll try not to sip into the mic.
we were talking about how it can be a little misleading when we say things like history repeats itself, and we say that over and over again. That is not necessarily true, and it leads us down not great conclusions.
It's
Rather, we
more
like
nuanced
this
than
idea.
that.
It's more nuanced. We like this idea of it doesn't repeat itself, it rhymes. And so we're going to use history, we're going to use stories from the past to interpret the present, and to put it into context, and to maybe see if we can draw parallels, lessons, wisdom even. Because we do not want to be ignorant of the past. And today I brought more books. Jono likes touching books. He likes holding them. Occasionally, he even likes reading them.
Yeah.
And so I love...
I prefer them to be read to me.
Oh, of course.
Of this size. Yeah.
So we got Adrian Goldsworthy's. That's the
We fondled this last time.
yeah, that is the, your Lamborghini.
Yeah. We'll fondle this one a lot today.
Rubicon by Tom Holland is a great starting point. I love that book so much.
Yeah.
Tom Holland is just a fantastic ancient historian. He has an amazing podcast as well. That's a great starting point about the fall of the Roman Republic and Julius Caesar.
Yeah, let's zoom in on that. We're really glad that he wrote this book before he, of course, pursued acting. in the Marvel universe.
Yeah. I was
That's-
talking about his book Dominion, which is a fantastic book. And I was talking about it with my students at school, and I couldn't even talk about it. Because the moment I mentioned Tom Holland, they're like, is Spider-Man wrote this book? And I'm like, no. And then it was just, they were gone.
Kids are so stupid these
they
days.
just, all they care about is
need
Spider-Man
history.
these days.
Wait
But
a minute.
who is Spider-Man?
This is also an upright image and an upside down image.
That's very good.
Much like the logo we're
Dude,
working
holy
with today. This is Rubicon inspired.
We should rip that.
We should rip it.
Okay, so
Yeah.
then I don't actually enjoy this one very much. This is Appian's Civil Wars, but it is the best. It's kind of written, what was it written? I think in the, I can't remember. But Appian, he's a Roman historian. This is a primary source. So for our listeners who don't know, like those are secondary sources. Those are written by modern historians analyzing primary sources, which are from the ancient world.
Right.
This is a decent read. I wasn't a huge fan of it. I did read. Yeah, wow, I got notes in all of them.
You got notes.
But if you
Nice.
want to,
Can I fondle that one?
Yep. If you want a
Thanks.
good time, this book here, Suetonius, the 12 Caesars. This book,
They broke this statue
it probably broke by itself.
in half. Yeah. Their
but-
materials at that time just weren't near as good as what they are today.
Suetonius, the 12 Caesars, it is a biography, little mini biographies of each of the first 12 emperors, including Caesar, even though he wasn't technically an emperor. But this is where it gets in the nitty gritty. This is the one that like it'll talk about some of the saucier sides of the emperors, some of the little naughty bits that they were getting up to.
Yeah. Suetonius is actually Italian for saucy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's
Now I don't have it
Suetonius.
with me, but there's of course we'll be looking at Plutarch's lives, parallel lives. Plutarch also liked this idea of history rhymes because he would actually write these short biographies of ancient figures and comparing them to others.
Yeah.
But we will be spending most of our time with this really hideous book. I realized I think I bought the cheapest. I was doing my undergraduate. I bought the cheapest one I could find. This is the author himself. Okay, this is Julius Caesar's words.
Right.
So what?
He wrote that?
He wrote the.
Did
it's
he
called
pick that picture too?
he he
What a
didn't.
joke.
On the Gallic War and on the Civil War. So this is why Julius Caesar is such an amazing character, because while he's fighting wars, he is writing his commentaries, sending them back to Rome, controlling the narrative. And he writes in third person, which is a good little trick because it makes you think like, oh, he's not actually the one writing it. So
Right.
this must be true. And there's moments, during great battles where the legions, they're fleeing from Gallic warriors, and he grabs a standard and rallies the troops and sends them back in. It's like, my goodness. And then, of course, there's my little book here. So
That's actually one that you wrote, and your name is on it.
It
So
is.
let's blur that
blur
out.
the name. This is on Amazon. I've been having a lot of fun the last year writing children's books and illustrating them with AI.
Yeah.
And it's a bit controversial, but
You are a very controversial,
very controversial.
children's author.
I am. Don't hate me. Don't hate me. Hate is gonna hate.
Yeah.
But no, it's been a lot of fun, and I'm trying to use new technology to restore and to capture our stories that are being lost. And
What an interesting contrast, a juxtaposition.
if you will.
Yeah.
And some people don't
Nice.
like it, and I say to them, please leave me alone.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you
it's
can't
been
comment on the reviews, and
it's
that's a
been-
big problem for you because you can't fight
just so
back
many
on
angry
Amazon.
reviews. I write up like, oh,
You're
we have-
stupid.
we
you
have-
don't understand
We have
it.
1 to 2 reviews. Like these are out of control.
Yeah.
No, but it's
All positive.
it's all
People
started.
love it.
It all started because I actually was looking for books for some historical figures for my children, and
Yeah.
they did not exist. So I was creating them anyways and just reading them off of my computer using Google Slides. And then I discovered a way to publish them. So it's been a lot of fun. So this is Julius Caesar, the man who forged an empire. It is for mainly 6 to 10-year-olds.
Right. Originally, you were writing for adults, but you're like, I just can't get the content, and I don't know how to write
And
above
also,
a third grade level.
I find adults just don't know how to read.
Yeah, it's true. Well, a lot of them don't. It's very short form for a lot of people. I can't help but look at this one page that you've ripped, and it's unfortunate because this is actually the most important part of the book, where basically everything you need to know at least to connect all the dots within it, is gone.
I think
and
I was
this
really
is the
emotional.
only
I
section
ripped it
that
out.
Tom has done notes in. There's roughly 2 or 3 pages.
Which book
and then
is that?
the notes
Which
are
book
gone.
is that? Okay.
This is the one, The Civil Wars by Epion.
Flip. Yeah, well, there's more in that one. Take a tickle through that one.
Oh, yeah, we got to fondle this one,
Yeah.
too. Caesar's
Now, I do think
commentaries.
for
this is
Appian-
actually an interesting thing that reflects on the previous podcast. Him writing in the third person, it's kind of a branding, positioning thing, right? He's trying to control his narrative, which is a very fascinating
You have to
thing.
think of Caesar as
He's trying to control his perception by acting like he's not such an egomaniac that he would write his own autobiography or anything like that. Why wouldn't he write his own autobiography, though? What's the deal?
He would, and he did, but this is not necessarily written for posterity. It is, but it's written to coerce and to gain the popularity of the Roman people.
Right.
So he knows that and maybe let's just dive into our story then. So what we've been doing in our first episode, we covered his life kind of from birth all the way up to 59 BC, where he becomes consul of Rome. He reaches the top, the presidency essentially.
Sorry
right?
if I've got any beer in my,
we're not
applesauce,
drinking. There's
apple
no beer.
cider.
Jeez.
We're not drinking.
You blew that immediately. Why do we even have the mugs now?
It's not. It's just soda. I just.
All right. Jeez.
Anyways,
okay.
it's
So we're gonna
nothing.
see as we go through what are the parallels with Trump. Okay. How does this rhyme with Trump?
Yeah.
And
But we're not always going to rhyme with Trump here, you know. So that's not what this is about. It's just that he is a current modern day leader who is bringing a lot of people care.
Well,
People
and
really
I
got
think
into politics in 2016.
We're also trying to
Everyone did.
see what can we learn about the current political climate from 1st century BC.
Yeah.
And so we are going to see in our story today, we are going to see the Roman Republic that had been going since 509 BC.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to see it fall.
Oh boy.
So this is where you hear this all the time where it's like, is this person going to be a dictator? Is this person going to be a dictator? That comes from this 1st century BC era, right? I mean, it's earlier in the Athenian democracy as well, but people are terrified of Caesar, right? Caesar is the head of the populares faction, the ones who are the populist. So he needs to write this book because he needs the people's support.
Right.
The Optimates are the conservative power-holding senators. They don't like him.
Of course.
So we last left him, and he had formed this triumvirate with Marcus Crassus and Gnaeus Pompey.
Yeah, I remember those two.
Yeah.
Yes. And I want to also just iterate that I always come to this podcast with an open mind.
I don't.
Much like I did with high school. But when I say that, I mean, I don't have anything prepared. I'm here to just mostly listen to you and interrupt you at odd times.
Similar to high school.
Yeah, basically, I'm just here to kind of derail things briefly, and then you can carry on and ignore it.
Yeah.
But sometimes answer it.
I like it.
Yeah.
I
Anyways,
love it. No, that's good.
That's my life story.
So the way
We like to have fun here.
We like to have a good time. So the consuls were elected by not popular vote, but by the citizens.
Yep.
And they would kind of go on the Campus Martius, and they would literally go into the sections of which consul they want elected. So Caesar manages to bribe, cajole, all this kind of stuff. He wins the consulship, and he wins it with Marcus Calpurnius Bibulus.
Oh.
Bibulus.
Bibulus.
Yeah. Now, normally you'd have to make deals with the other consul, whatever. No, he does not do that. He does something we don't really know exactly, but this consulship is only for a year, and it's remembered jokingly, and you'll find this hilarious, jokingly as the consulship of Julius and Caesar.
Oh.
Because it was like Bibulus actually just went and stayed in his home and did not do it. So Caesar got to rule for a year by himself.
What was his name again? Bibulus?
Yeah.
Is that his last name?
That would be like his Caesar. So his last name, he'd be of the Calpurnii faction or family.
Right.
Bibulus, we can remember.
I always wonder, but these are very elaborate names. Are the Calpurnii like a family living in a, 3-bedroom single family household
They would have
in Italy
huge
somewhere?
villas. They would have huge villas.
But do they still exist?
Oh, currently.
Yeah.
This guy's getting our names wrong.
Is the name there? Are they still out there?
Where's the gabagoo? Hey, Calpurnii.
But are they out there?
I said bring the gabagoo.
Yeah, they must be.
Well, I don't think so
Google them.
because the ancient Romans are much different than the current Italians, because they're when at the fall of the Roman Empire.
What about their heritage?
They're gonna blend with the Gothic people. They're gonna blend with the Germanic people.
Oh, so all
it's gonna be
those
kind of the
people
Normans are
took-
gonna get down there, depending where you're at. Like Southern Italy is very different than Central Italy, very, very different than Northern Italy. So the Romans are
Well,
not...
where does, say, the name Falcone come from?
I could shoot you right in the head, kid. That's power you can't buy.
right.
There's
That's
a judge,
it.
there's a cop. That's power you can't buy, kid. All right. So
yeah, that's
Caesar as
Batman.
consul. Let's
We
blow
love it.
past this. So there's three big things that he does as consul. One, he does a land bill. He forces through a law to distribute public land to Pompey's veterans. Remember we talked about this last time, where it's like, if when the veterans were done, they, instead of giving them a pension, they would give them land.
Okay.
Right. This is a deal he made with Pompey in order to become consul. And then this cements his alliance with Pompey. Now, Pompey had, throughout the middle of the first century, conquered all the Eastern Empire. Like obviously I'm simplifying it, but like he's the one who actually conquers Jerusalem for the Roman Empire.
Okay.
He's the one who, and he
contract.
conquers it, and he goes, what's that?
On contract?
On contract?
For
he's
the
like-
Roman Empire.
No, well, he is the Roman Empire.
Oh,
And so he's known as
I was
Pompey
like,
Magnus, Pompey the Great.
Italian stuff.
But Caesar's really cementing this idea, because when you were done being consul, you became proconsul.
Oh,
And that means you go off and you're a governor of one of the territories.
right.
Okay? So he secures this
Is that all one word, proconsul?
proconsul.
Okay.
He secures this deal. Normally you would only be proconsul for a year.
Right.
During that time, you have imperium, and you cannot be brought to trial.
Right.
You are above the law. So he secures a 4-year deal a 5-year proconsular deal. This is unprecedented.
Nice.
Because of his power with Crassus's money and Pompey's clout, he's able to govern Cisalpine Gaul and Illyricum. So this is, we don't have our map up, this is southern France.
We can always bring
Okay.
the map up.
Now,
oh, look at this.
there it is. So
There it
there,
is.
yeah. So just southern France. He is now he's going to be the governor of this. So after being consul, he heads up with a couple legions to the north, and now he takes. Now he is.
We don't want to talk about Gaul that much today, though. just a heads up. For all you Gaul fans out there, we're not talking about
the
it.
Gallic Wars is where he establishes himself, in my humble opinion, as a military genius. And some people are like, he's not the general that
Well, why don't we dwell on that for a while?
Sure.
Okay, anyway.
Yeah, so there's all these tribes. They're Celtic tribes in Gaul. They're not French. They're not sipping wine.
They're called, they're Celtic.
They're Celtic.
Right.
Caesar is heavily in debt. He needs Gaul. He's actually going. He's like this is time to make money. Okay.
Yeah.
So he goes.
It's
Now
always
can
time
we
to make
can
money.
we pause for a moment, Jono?
Yeah.
And can we talk about how, excuse my French, how sick the Roman military was? The Roman, in my opinion, the most effective fighting force in all of history. I would say even more than the British Navy. I'd say even more than the current American military.
I don't know. Delta Force is pretty cool.
They didn't have sonic weapons blasting at Venezuelan
Exactly.
security guards, but
That just to me is like, that scene in Back to the Future where Marty just like gets that guitar and he just does one strum and it just blows him back into the wall. That's what I pictured happened in Venezuela.
yeah, they're like they have guitars.
It's like, oh, no.
So very quickly, the Roman
Yeah.
legion took the shield wall of the phalanx, of the Greek phalanx, and made it more flexible.
I
And
am going to push back still on this. The greatest fighting force is clearly modern warfare, Delta Force teams. Do you watch?
what better than Navy SEALs?
Yes, actually.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. That's the big debate online. I don't want to get into this fight, but I do think,
So
tactically speaking, I guess they would be.
Sure.
They're just different eras,
For a-
different technology.
well, also-
I'll let it go.
the Roman Empire is going to last for 1,000 years. So when America is around 800 years from now, we'll see. The Roman Empire also, the only thing that could beat them were horse archers. America's lost a couple wars. Anyways, let's not split hairs.
Okay.
Let's explain it quickly.
What? Okay.
So the way the Roman legion, so there would be about 5,000 guys in a legion.
Yeah.
They'd be broken into cohorts, be broken into centuries. They had a very effective command structure, very flexible. So Caesar he gets to invade Gaul with a very functional fighting force where he can actually be in the back, and he's literally able to move things around.
But how? Do you have like a cone thing?
He would have a bunch of
speaker cone?
legates around him, legates,
Right.
and other captains, messengers that he'd be like, send him, tell him to pull back the left wing. We're going to smash this side here. We're going to do this. And there was this thing called the triplex axes where the Roman legions would be in 3 lines, and you could shift them around quite well.
Right.
But they took the shield wall of the phalanx, right? The Greek phalanx of Leonidas.
Of course,
And
yeah.
they, instead of the hopa, the circular shield.
Did
they
Leonidas
had-
start the phalanx?
No.
Oh,
But,
you're just referencing 300 for our audience.
Yeah. But they made
movie
this
fans.
huge shield that could cover almost your whole body called the scutum.
The Iron Dome.
The
The Bronze Dome.
yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
So they did that, and they would have these pilums, heavy javelins.
Right.
And they would have about 4 of them that they would hold in their shield. So as the Gauls were tribal, chieftain, warriors. They're charging in with swords and axes.
Okay.
There'd be the shield wall. This is what you see at the beginning of Gladiator, and then it descends to madness, where Gladiator, it starts out right.
Did you say descends to madness or badness?
No, madness, because it's dumb in Gladiator, because the Roman Legion, it turns to chaos immediately, and they're fighting all around.
Oh, yeah,
The whole
right.
power of the Roman Legion
Was that they
that
stuck together.
They stuck together.
Like the Mighty Ducks.
But, exactly like the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. The Flying V is
Exactly.
actually the phalanx.
They did, well, I mean, yeah, they actually did this move. They would go, for our audience, I'm going to draw a diagram. They would actually do this move.
Oh, it would they
which was
take on a
kinda
mountain
sick.
formation.
So they, like a pit. So the guys, the chieftains would go into between here and just get hacked apart, get stuck in these pointed wedges.
Oh, they'd corner them in their
but
own
they could
phalanx.
do that. They were trained, right? Like
Right.
the commander could go do this formation, do this formation.
Right. But
But-
how are they hearing this? How are they communicating? That's why I asked.
Through-
Do they have
through
like a
the chain-
megacone?
No, he's going to. I mean, there would be yelling,
Or it's
but
like a
they'd be
game of telephone where he's like, tell this guy, tell
chain of
that guy.
command. Chain
Right.
of command all the way down to the centurion.
They would have had to be really good at orders because, have you ever played telephone and it comes out the other end? Could you imagine? Where
They're
it's
like,
like,
"Go
they're
left."
like, kill those guys on the left.
Go
and then
west."
They yeah. Yeah.
Like, this is fun.
It's like-
No, the one cool thing that they did is they'd have a little loop, so you'd be in this line, right?
I didn't even get to finish my thought,
Oh,
but
sorry,
it's
go
okay.
ahead.
No,
Go
I
ahead.
don't want to talk about it anymore.
Okay, the telephone. I thought you were done the telephone.
No, it's fine. We could have gotten to the point where they said something really ridiculous, and it had nothing to do with the war. But I don't want to say anything anymore.
What was the thing?
No, I don't have anything.
So they would
I'm
do
more
this cool
interested
thing.
in the Roman Empire.
They would do this cool thing. So you'd be holding a loop in the guy's armor in front of you,
Yeah.
and the centurion's standing, and he's blowing his whistle every 30 seconds to 60 seconds, because it's actually really hard. Once the Gauls have charged, they have the gladius. So this is a sword that's a short sword for stabbing and hacking. They would even have
A gladius.
that's the gladius. That's the name of the
Right.
sword. Yep. They would even have metal spikes on their shoes to stomp guys once they had fallen. And so you're
Fully
surrounded
equipped.
by. So you would the first round you would the Gauls are running. You would throw your spear. It would go into their shield. They now have to drop their shield.
Because it's too heavy.
Too heavy. You throw your next spear.
And it's all out of whack. You
Yeah,
got a
it's
big
all a bit
stick hanging off
misbalanced.
one side.
This is
Yeah.
embarrassing.
Yeah. It's like, I can't even work
The
with
next
this.
wave of Pelum would go, and it would wipe out a round.
Pelum?
Like, so they didn't really have the spears,
Okay.
the javelins,
Right.
and then they would.
Why are
throw-
there so many synonyms for spears?
Yeah,
Can't
they
we
would
all
have
just
the Latin?
Oh, right, yeah.
So whatever. So then that would take him out. So by the time
What is a gladium's length? We
Gladius?
gotta, sorry, gladius.
they could be quite short. They could be quite short.
What are we talking?
They're heavy.
It's like it's
I
in
don't know.
between a dagger and a
18 to 24
Yeah.
inches.
80,
Oh, 18 to
18.
24.
Yeah.
See, I would have just called that a sword.
Yeah.
What are they made out of? Do we know?
They would have made out of iron.
Iron.
Steel.
Well, they didn't have steel. When did they get steel?
At this point, they were steel for sure. They were
That's
they were
sick.
heating them in
With
Spain
With
in,
carbon.
in
yeah.
forges of some kind.
Gladius is originally from
Because
Spain.
it's the Gladius Hispaniensis,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
So the whole thing
Do you want to host, Dan?
is the
No, I'm
whole
good.
thing
I like
is
chiming in once in a
no,
while.
it's nice. Please,
For
With
Tom.
especially
Not
with the-
me. I'm going to
especially with those
myself.
specific.
Someone has to listen to
Yeah,
this
so, yeah,
crap.
someone has to make this fun.
I did some history as well. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dan is Speakeasy founder and entrepreneur owner, and he also has a history degree and loves Roman history.
Yes.
So
And we'd like
let me
to
just
do
quickly
should we
get
do
this,
our
and then I
ad
want to
read
hear your
now?
thoughts.
Okay.
So the
I studied music history, so it has nothing
why
to do
you've
with
been
real
singing so
history.
much.
Yeah.
that's where telephone comes in.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's most
So
of
the
the
Gauls
time I
are
drew
charging in. They're already weighed
pictures.
down. They're cut to pieces by these spears. Then they smash up against the legion's shield wall.
Right.
But it's open enough and flexible enough that they now can start just hacking away. And it's really just now just a butcher's garden. But then the whistle blows, and the guy in the front goes back down the line. And the next guy charges forward.
And he's fresh.
So he's fresh. The Gallic chieftain's like, wait, what? He's he's exhausted. He's been
course.
fighting, right?
Yeah.
And it's just next. And so they trudge forward, and it's just a military
Just
machine.
fresh
precision,
guys like
right?
folding in. It's just like, okay.
Yep.
I gotcha. And the
Meanwhile,
other guys are in the
while
back
they're
drinking
marching around,
electrolytes.
every night they're building fortifications.
Yeah.
And a lot of the cities around the Mediterranean in Gaul, they're based on these fortifications.
Mm.
They were so effective each night. They dig ditches, build walls, build towers every night to
Okay.
build these fortifications. So anyways, so Caesar goes into Gaul, and he immediately, there's this group called the Helvetii, and they're from southern France. They're migrating across. He's like, this is ridiculous. You can't have these people migrating.
No.
These
Stop them.
these immigrants. And so then he attacks them.
Okay.
And he kind of wants to start a war. He needs money, right? Beats them, whoops them quite easily. He goes up against now a Germanic chieftain named Ariovistus.
That's a cool name.
It's pretty sick. And Ariovistus, Germania is where current day Germany is.
Yeah.
He comes in. They're fighting. Julius Caesar whoops him pretty good.
Yep.
My favorite part of this story, though, is Ariovistus retreats across the Rhine into Germania.
Mhm.
Caesar builds a bridge over the Rhine in 10 days.
Whoa.
Enough that all of his legions can cross over, thousands of men, whoops Ariovistus again. Ariovistus is like, I can't do it, flees, done. Then he marches back, and then he destroys the bridge just to be like,
There you go. It was my bridge anyways.
Like, it
to destroy.
takes, in our city, I think they've been working on one of our streets for my entire life. Like, they're just, like, our
They gotta get it right.
They're like, and it's cost, like, literally the last 2 years they've been working on widening one section of a street.
Yeah.
Modern technology, all that kind of stuff. $35 million.
$35 million. How much did it cost Caesar to build his
Nothing.
bridge? Nothing. It was.
He made money off of it.
So much he broke it. He's like, I don't need this.
He's like, burn it down.
Well, that's what was it made out of?
Wood,
That's it.
timber,
Oh,
cedar.
well, that's the problem.
Probably a rich cedar.
Our stuff isn't wood.
our stuff's made out of like concrete.
Yeah, it's
It just
hard.
doesn't have that rich smell. to
Yeah,
it.
the wood. Yeah, it's true.
So then he goes north and
It's
he
too bad
whoops.
the
I'm gonna
woodworking
go
craft
through this
is
quickly because I
dead.
want to get to the civil wars. There's the Belgic campaign. We're in about 57 BC. He goes north into modern Belgium, where Belgium gets its name, and whoops the Belgic tribes.
Yeah.
And he's just, the military machine's going well. In 56 BC, he meets with Pompey and Crassus and is like, hey, we're still friends, right?
Yeah.
Because Pompey and Crassus are kind of enjoying things back in Rome, but they're also like, he keeps sending back these victories, and he's sending money back to the people as well.
Because he's
like-
taking it from
'cause
all these losers.
All these losers. Yeah, women and children.
Yeah, exactly. They're just shaking him
He's
upside
like,
down.
shaking about, come on, where's your Messiah now? Right? And he's just,
What are they getting? Are they getting gold? Are they getting
gold.
silver?
Yeah,
Oh,
because they would have had, like,
Right.
the villages and stuff would have had some nice gold and jewels, and it was
Sure,
pretty
it
good.
was doing fine back then. Gold and silver are tanking right now.
I thought
Unbelievable.
silver's going, like,
Maybe it's up today. I don't know. Everything's down today.
But, so he's slowly taking over Gaul, and everywhere he's going, he's bringing Roman technology, Roman roads, Roman education, all this kind of stuff. He's going to Romanize Gaul. But when he meets with Pompey and Crassus, he goes, okay, we need to make a deal where I need 5 more years in Gaul.
Right.
And they're like, okay, but then we're going to become consuls.
Right.
And so now that even at this point, the Republic is almost effectively dead because these guys have become so wealthy and powerful. The 3 of them can kind of decide who's going to become consul. You're only supposed to be proconsul governor for a year, and Caesar's now going to go it for 10 years.
Oh, so they had terms just like they do in the United States.
Yeah, and I think one of the problems with the Roman Republic was their terms were so short.
Yeah, you can't really do much in a year.
Yeah.
I can't get anything done in a
it's
year.
like a year goes by, and
Yeah, like, what
still
do
I'm
they
thinking
do?
about you.
Yeah.
But
nice.
what song is that?
I don't know. I thought you were just saying it to me.
Now
Now I need to find out it's a song that hurts. Where did Caesar find time to write? That's when I
mean, they
wanna
didn't
know.
have TV, so at nighttime he's just
He's writing down. But he had carpal tunnel, of course.
He did.
This
He
is
did.
a lot
He
of
did
writing.
lose. He lost one battle. And he lost a legion, and until it was avenged, he grew out his beard and his hair, which, as we know from last time, he's a fashionista, right? Like,
Right.
he
He's got a
doesn't do
clean.
that.
He's a clean face, clean shaven.
But then
yeah, very,
he decides to do
soft-skinned
something.
man.
He's do something epic.
It's like a playoff beard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does something epic because they'd heard of Britain.
Yeah.
They'd heard of this.
Don't you love that we, like, as men, instinctually, just like before we accomplish something? I do this all the time, where it's like, all right, I need to get this done. I'm going to grow a beard until I do it.
Yeah.
It's
or
like
we
a-
go, when I shave my beard, it's like, I'm going to get it together. You shave a beard, you're like, I'm better now.
it's different.
It's a clean
been
slate.
A year.
And you're like, why does my face look like that?
I haven't got anything done all year. Now I'm shaving.
You wouldn't know about this.
It is
but
nice, though. It helps you change.
It is, but you wouldn't
Yeah.
know anything about this. But sometimes when you're feeling a little bit like puffy or thicker,
Yeah.
you've never put on an inch of fat. But for those of us who have,
Thanks, Tom.
you you have an amazing body.
Thanks.
Great. Look at you. You're huge. And no, you shave to be like,
Stop.
oh, I know the problem is my beard's too big. So you shave and then you're like,
Oh,
how
no,
does my
it's
face
worse.
look fatter?
Well, the
I
beard just adds like this.
It-
It gives you that chin.
It contours.
yeah,
It's literally,
nice.
it's our way of, instead of putting, I don't know what form of makeup women put on to contour their face.
I think it's blush.
It's not blush.
Is it not?
It's a darker thing.
Oh, maybe it is.
They add a shadow. That's
When-
what beards do. Beards are just a male form of contouring. Write
Yeah,
that down.
it's true, right? Yeah. It's,
Caesar said that.
ladies, tell us what contour you're using in the comments.
Yeah. In the comments, tell us what form of makeup is used.
Are women just trying to give themselves a beard?
Are there women still listening to this at this point?
Have they even
They're
started?
like, gosh, if they talk about the gladius one more time.
Yeah, this is the type of thing that would get
Well,
turned off
this'll-
immediately, or at least start some huge trend. Like, how much do you think about the Roman Empire?
Yeah. How much do you think about blush?
Yeah, my question to that trend was, how much do you think about the Roman Empire? But actually, it's the Greek Empire. And
That was
you're
kind of
really
the
It was
weirdest-
the weirdest thing.
Like
Yeah.
people be like one guy I saw, he was like, I love 300. I like Leonidas. And I was like,
Yeah.
I hate the world so much. I was like, this is the end times. Like, I like Rome. Like I have a friend,
Yeah.
one of my wife's friends, she thinks the Roman Empire was in the 1800s. I think she, for some reason, thinks that the world began in 1800s. And I keep going like, that's 1800 years after Jesus was born.
Young Earth theory. Yeah.
It's very young. It's like the Earth is like this,
It all
like
started in 1800.
it's like 3 human lives. That's how long the Earth has been around.
I do think that there is something about the 1800s that just it's like that's where it started
Yeah.
to feel really old.
Yeah,
and then
like-
everyone's like everything happened old then.
That's as far
I
back
get
as our
that.
photos go.
yeah, that's
We're like, what they
it's
do
true.
before
Yeah,
photos?
you see these pictures of the Roman Empire that we're
Yeah,
taking?
we had Caesar was in 1800.
Yeah.
Alexander was in 1799.
Yeah.
And so on and so forth. So Caesar does something so epic here. I love that he does this. He because he wants to like, it's about his brand, but he also is like, I want to be like Alexander. I got to go somewhere new, right?
Yep.
So he crosses over and invades Britain, right? And he's essentially the explorer, the discoverer of Britain.
It's like the
And there's-
Dora the Explorer.
He's Dora the
of
Explorer. He's like,
Britain.
where should we go? I'm
Get
the
your
map. I'm the
backpacks.
map. As he's just hacking
just
British
get the phalanx.
the Pilam,
Go
the
to the back.
Pilam. What is this called? Pilam. Now he does this twice. He spends 2
Yeah.
seasons over there. He doesn't do much, but it's like he does win a battle. It's enough to send, his dispatches back home. And it's like going to the moon, right? It's like, let's pretend,
don't know
let's
about
pretend that human
There's
beings,
one thing I do know about history. It's space history.
and that we've never been to space.
That's right. And
no,
that's where it ends.
No, but you
Go
have to
ahead.
think about it, like getting all the way up there, crossing over the English Channel.
Yeah.
That's space. Like that's like space.
Yeah, that's this. Yeah. That's,
and then fighting
Final
someone when you
frontier.
get there.
yeah.
So, anyways, it's fantastic. So he does that twice. Meanwhile, things are not so good back in Rome.
Ooh.
So remember how Pompey,
Mm-hmm.
dashing, handsome but
Person.
elderly general,
Yeah.
married Caesar's daughter Julia. Do you remember that from last
Right.
time?
Yeah. Yeah.
Gorgeous, beautiful.
Julius,
great
Julius
face.
Caesar. Her name was actually Julius. We went over
Her name
this.
was Julia.
Julia. He was Julius. That's
Just-
like Steve Jobs naming his daughter Eve Jobs.
I think stevia.
Stevia Jobs.
That's where the sugar comes
Right.
from.
Yes. It's actually not a sugar. It's a sweetener.
The sweetener comes from.
Yeah.
Sure, it's not sugar. Yeah, right.
Whatever, man.
That's right.
We know.
The elites are lying to
aspartame's good
us.
for you.
The elites are lying to
Yeah.
us about stevia.
And Diet Coke.
So Julius Caesar's daughter Julia dies.
Mhm.
Pompey loved her. She dies in childbirth.
Oh.
The personal bond.
That is sad. I'm sorry to hear
the personal bond is done.
that. Yep.
Okay,
It's over because she's gone.
Yeah, and
what do they
Pompey's
have
already
together?
been like, I don't really like my father-in-law. He's younger than me. It's confusing.
It's weird.
And he keeps going like, son.
Keeps telling me
uh,
to call him dad.
It gets worse.
Yeah.
Marcus Crassus goes to fight and conquer the Parthians. We talked about this last time.
Mm.
He is killed. And he was the guy kind of holding Pompey.
What drives these guys to go and fight? They hear something's going on. They're like, hey, there's a bunch of these guys over here gathering. Let's go take care of that. Like, who's letting them know this stuff? Who's patrolling these borders? And what do the people of Rome think? Are they like, we're just killing people?
No, the people of Rome would think,
are they like, this is awesome.
To Rome. This is glory to Rome.
Yeah.
Right?
And they're not seeing any of it.
Keep in mind, in his commentary, Caesar is going to inflate the number of people he's killed in Gaul.
Oh.
I think he says he kills about 3 million people. He maybe only killed like 800,000. No, but I can't remember the exact numbers. But because people are like, "Whoa,
yeah,
he did that for us." No, I mean that's a great question, and this is where history and when we talk about Alexander, we can ask this question too, like what drives a person to do this? It's a bit ridiculous. Marcus Crassus has all this power, all this wealth, but what he doesn't have is military reputation. In fact, he was the one who put down the slave revolt of Spartacus,
right?
And that was his big claim to fame. And even Pompey had come back and kind of ended the battle and kind of stole his glory, but people were like, good for you. You beat a bunch of slaves, even though it was a really tough job.
Mm-hmm.
So what motivates a person who has everything to want more? That's a really good question about human nature. And so this is where history teaches us wisdom, right?
Mm-hmm.
It teaches us about the humanities, right? Humans.
Right. We've had such a drastic shift in what glory looks like today, right? Like obviously some people are, they love their country dominating the world stage. They want that. They see it as stability. But obviously back then it was a point of honor. Where now it's like people have lived in this like good golden age of just history where we have everything we could possibly want. War doesn't appeal to most people like it did back then.
No, and I think we've done the opposite where it's whoever's the most victimized is glorified.
Right.
So now take your pick. I don't think either are a good option where it's like a person who is this powerful general is the, essentially God walking among men.
Mm-hmm.
That's not great, but neither is someone who it's like, well, the best people in the room are the one who've been victimized the most. Right?
When do you think that shift happened? Because obviously us growing up, even in film, everyone loves a good underdog story. But film, certainly, we saw stuff like, Gladiator, where he was actually a dominant leader and a general. Am I right in his rank?
Maximus Decimus.
He will come up a lot.
Yeah.
And obviously he gets captured and becomes nothing, and then builds his way up through this oppressive system where he fights his way out to freedom.
I would say it's relatively new. I would say in the last 10 to 15 years, it's pretty new. Like you even look back during the Iraq War, which had very little justification, if any, and Americans were like, yeah, well, at least we're taking it, right? And there's an element of like, especially in Americans, of conquest is good. Even with this latest Venezuelan venture, it's like, yeah, well, can we just stop pretending and let's just take the oil or whatever happened there? Like and there's like, man, all right, I don't think maybe we shouldn't be overthrowing a foreign leader. But it's kind of cool what we did. Like 20 guys took out like 300 Venezuelan security. Like it was done. So there is innate in American culture there's a deep military history there. I mean, it goes back to the Revolution. Like they fought for their freedom and independence.
Mm-hmm.
That's very different from Canada, where we like, basically petitioned to England, like, can we be in charge of stuff now? And England's like, gosh, are you still there? All right. Blimey, we thought we got rid of you decades ago. And they're like, we're not paying for you. And the king's like, oh, we can be in charge of our fish. And they're like, no.
Sorry.
Right. But so in Canada, I don't think we have this. We have a glory, like an amazing military past in World War I and World War II. But our identities changed. So I don't know. That's a really good question to go like, when did it change between like military glory and this glory? Like, it's like, no, whoever has faced the most racism, most sexism, most whatever, they're the people that we should prop up and say, you're the hero.
Yeah. I just find it interesting how conquest is such a honorable and just national point of national pride.
But it's also exploration as well.
That's true. Yes.
And for them, they're going, there's almost this kind of...
maybe we've just seen it all, so there's nothing to conquer anymore. Yeah. And everyone's just like, all right, everybody just hang out here.
Well, we don't conquer anymore.
We don't.
Part of America's problem throughout the Cold War is, fighting in Vietnam, fighting in Korea. These wars of liberation or containment or whatever, they're not conquering. So it's like sometimes you get lost into like, what are we fighting for? Whereas the Romans were never like, what are we fighting for? They're like, no, we're fighting for land, and we're going to keep it, and we're going to make it better, and then our veterans get to have that land.
Right.
And, by the time of Augustus, we're going to have this Pax Romana. There's going to be a 200-year peace, so we're going to fight for prosperity, and we deserve to conquer the world.
Right.
The craziest thing, and we'll talk about later, is the concept of the strong get to, Aristotle came to this, like, whoever's the strongest gets to rule, will be, like, taken over by this Christian concept of, no, actually, the greatest shall be least, and the first shall be last, and the last shall be first.
Right.
So the empire is conquered by these poor Christians who eventually take over the entire empire. So things are not good.
Okay.
In the triumvirate, and then in 52 BC we have a hero emerge in Gaul, Vercingetorix.
Man, these names.
Pretty sick.
Unreal.
So he leads
across all of Europe, frankly. Even the German guy. Pretty cool name.
Ariovistus, yeah.
Yeah.
Vercingetorix, he leads a rebellion against Caesar. And Caesar has to, he's like, oh, wow, this guy's actually legit. They battle around, whatever, but they have one famous battle in Alesia. Never been there. It's kind of in, like, central eastern Gaul.
Okay. Is it nice there? Have you heard good things?
It's kind of a big mound now in a field.
That doesn't
I've
sound
heard
nice.
good things. It's hard to
So
get there.
it's
No, it
like
looks nice. It looks nice.
okay.
It's a field.
Sounds
So
to
it
me
was
like
a town, and I always get this wrong. I always forget who's in the town.
Alesia.
Alesia. Yeah. She sounds beautiful.
Matt Damon was in that movie, wasn't he?
Yeah. Why are the rich people got to be up in the
sky? Yeah.
So
that's a cool idea.
Caesar surrounds Vercingetorix
Mm-hmm.
in Alesia, this town.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's besieging it, but he does dual fortifications. Very smart. So he lays a fortification around the city to block Vercingetorix in.
Yeah.
And then he puts another wall around his troops besieging because he knows there's other Gauls out there. And a force of like 200,000 Gauls shows up. And they're now attacking Caesar's force, who's besieging Vercingetorix. So Caesar's now facing Gauls on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Legend has it that he sneaks out with kind of a group of cavalry and kind of thing. And the Romans look up on the hill and they see he could always be recognized by his red scarlet cloak, like this long flowing.
Of course,
cape.
yeah, we know that one. It's right here on the Rubicon.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like Superman.
Yeah, look at that.
And he charges in, smashes the lines, and the Roman legion does its work, and it just slowly breaks down. Vercingetorix is captured, and this is the end of the Gallic Wars.
Right.
So now he has to decide, okay, what's he going to do? Because now the triumvirate has collapsed. Crassus is dead. Pompey's being pulled in deeper to the Optimates, into this Cato and all these other guys. And there's a standoff now. As Caesar's kind of chilling in northern Italy, he cannot go into Italy with his legions. That's illegal.
Why?
So it was called your imperium. Your control ended at the river Rubicon.
So they're not allowed to go anywhere in there. But that's a...
He would come back as a private citizen.
Oh, okay.
So they're like, come back as a private citizen, but he knows the moment he disbands his legions and heads south, they will bring him to trial.
Oh.
So now we meet this standoff. So now the Senate actually in 49 BC does a Senatus Consultum Ultimatum. They issue an emergency decree ordering Caesar to dismiss his troops.
That's quite the title there.
sick.
Senatus. I'm a word guy,
So
but I
now
don't remember any of them.
Caesar knows that he's either going to be
Sounds
killed.
like a reality TV show
Yes.
back at that.
Welcome to Senatus.
Senatus Ultimatum.
The women are all on an island. Yeah. So Caesar has a choice, right?
Yeah.
He's like, do I go back as a private citizen and they will take me to trial? I will be found guilty because
Okay.
all my enemies are in control of the courts, and then they will kill me or I'll be exiled and my career's over.
Right.
Or do I take my boys south
Nice.
and fight a sick war? So this is
Of
where
course.
we have a bit
Why
of
not?
a rhyming
He's like,
situation.
I got my
Where-
silk robe. Why not?
He's like,
And I got these Ku Klux Klan guys with
well,
me.
geez,
too.
you're gonna have to show the camera a bit closer. He's
there
like,
it
yeah, Caesar
these-
was the founder of the KKK. No, that's crazy. So, okay, so this is where when I was watching all these indictments towards Trump, right? They think they did 95,
Yeah.
and this is where I actually started to get a little nervous. All right, for the first time, not super nervous, a little nervous.
Just
right?
a bit. Just a
And
titch.
where I'm like, if you start to push some, especially an ex-president who has a ton of power, ton of resources, and you start bringing, and he knows, he's like, okay, this system is now bent against me. And I think what we are, they call it lawfare in the States, and it works both sides, right?
Right.
If you push a political figure, you back them into a corner to the point that they would go, the only way I can survive is to overthrow the system. They might just do it. And that's exactly what Caesar is going to do.
He's like, you backed me into a corner. Got to do something about it. My career is going to be over. Where can I wear this robe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like robes.
It's my robe. I earned it.
You wake up
Look
in the
good
morning,
in it.
you're cold.
Yeah.
You don't want to just wear pajamas.
I always just picture like these guys, like they've got like generals or leaders of wars, at least at that time, were just
That's
kind of
correct.
guys playing with like their little Lego figurines. They're like, what if I do this?
Okay.
And all the guys go out there and they're like, it worked.
Yeah, well, I mean,
they're
it'd
just
be
kind of
cool
in
to,
their
like-
tent, lying on their
Yeah.
stomach, kicking their legs in the air, moving
wow.
things around.
They're like, put a robe on him. He's cold.
You're doing such a great
And
job.
he's like, beep, boop. And they're like, is that what you want us to do?
That might actually work. What do you call that?
And then I punch
Bailey?
Bush and Jedrick's really hard. So then we have Caesar say, the die is cast.
His famous quote.
His famous quote.
But
And
it's in Italian. What did that sound like?
It was in
wait, that's
Latin.
French.
It was not in Italian. It's
Yeah.
in Latin.
Oh,
So
course.
he crosses the Rubicon, and this is where, and I would like to hear your thoughts on this.
Yep.
This is where, so he crosses the Rubicon, and now he's formally declared war on Rome. Keep in mind, his legions follow him.
And how do you declare war? You get a guy to run ahead and be like, by the way, we're going to war.
Yeah.
Caesar said so.
I
All
think
right,
there'd
I'm
be-
leaving.
There
Like-
were Roman like.
Did they meet? Did they
There
talk?
there were legions and guards and stuff all the way down the boot to Rome, and so they would have been like, Caesar's coming. Oh crap! So
He's got the bros.
So this is where, but like the interesting thing is, and this is what kills republics, is after 8 years in Gaul, Caesar's legions join him.
Right.
They all come, all of his guys, right? So he's got
The bros know.
The bros know. I
They
think he
show
has.
up.
And then maybe you can look at 13, 14 legions of 5,000 each, right? He's got Gallic leaders with him as well, and so what happens, and this is where.
Oh, he's converted them into his forces.
Yeah. So he started using Gallic cavalry.
And
so
he trains them all up. He's like,
he
here's
trains
how we
them all
do
up,
the
but he
phalanx.
recognized that they were quite strong horsemen.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
So he uses them for cavalry. The Romans never were great at cavalry. They would use allies a lot of time
Right.
from Numidia. I'm a Todarian. Yeah, George Lucas stole seeing Numidia in North Africa there. They're
He just
great.
took all those names.
Numidia.
Yeah. Well, okay. So
Okay,
they
so
all come in.
I'm reading chat here. It's saying that he only crossed with the 13th Legion.
He only crossed with the 13th, but eventually he's able to wield how many? The famous 13th Legion. Although the 10th was his
Is
kind
that
of
where the
famous.
13th Warrior movie
That's
comes from? I'm just a
exactly
bunch of
correct.
movie
No, that's
references.
exactly correct.
Even when you
let
said
me-
that whole thing where he can't enter into Italy, all I'm thinking about is Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
When he's like, that one baseball player is faced with this decision
Yeah.
whether he steps across the line or not to save the farmer's daughter.
That's beyond accurate.
It's so. These analogies are exactly what.
What you're doing
They're-
actually is the term crossing the Rubicon
Yeah.
it's in our lexicon, or it used to be, where it's like, I've now made a decision that I cannot go back
Yes,
on.
it's a transformative
Right?
choice. It's a
it's like
commitment to
I
something.
proposed to my wife. I guess you could back.
Crossing the
I
Rubicon.
married my wife. I've crossed the Rubicon. It's now time to go to war.
Yeah, some guys though, they'll build a bridge and they'll go back over and they'll break it.
Yeah, and that's a different way to do it. That's a different metaphor. It's
that's
like,
new though. Like,
Yeah,
it's
that's-
different. Everyone
that's-
realizes like the Rubicon.
that's
thing.
hookup culture, okay? So
Just blow it up.
now Pompey screws up. Because, according to Napoleon, actually Napoleon takes these commentaries while Napoleon's in exile in St. Helens? He's
Mount St. Helens.
He's Mount St. Helens.
Yeah.
He's writing his commentary. So Napoleon's sitting reading, going, I wouldn't have done that. That wasn't bad there. And he goes, Pompey makes a dumb move, and Pompey evacuates Rome. He
Where
leaves because
to?
so he's going to go into Epirus there, Macedonia, and he's going to flee and start gathering all of his guys because they all live in the east. That's where his power is. Now this is wild. I was taking a look. So
His comfort zone.
so now Caesar does assume the title of dictator because there is this like threat to Rome. So he's like, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna be
He's
dictator.
gonna take emergency powers
Emergency
for now.
power.
They're just here.
Um,
Don't worry.
and this is wild because he's actually going to cross over. He's going to cross over and follow Pompey to Macedonia, and they're going to fight a couple battles or whatever. But the big one is Pharsalus. I think if you remember any battle, for me, the Battle of Pharsalus, I really like this one. Alesia is a big one. Pharsalus is where Caesar defeats Pompey.
Okay.
And so what he does is
This is his former brother or
like
son-in-law.
It's so iconic, this story, right? Where it's like they were allies. In fact, Pompey viewed Caesar as kind of like the young buck, and he's like, this guy.
Yeah.
They hung out, and he never really saw him as a rival, and he saw him as useful. Now Caesar is kind of the master, and Pompey's on the run, but he's got the Optimates with him. He's got the Senate with him, and so Caesar is outnumbered. But he's got these veterans with him. Pompey has a lot of allied guys. He's got the Numidian cavalry.
Right, yeah.
Money, only money. And so I love what Caesar does here because he is a military genius. So let me focus in. Let's go into the tactics. So legion on legion's now fighting. So your advantage is gone. Roman legions fighting Roman legions. Civil war.
Right.
Now it's got to be something to do with the cavalry.
The Civil War.
Pompey has way more cavalry.
Yeah.
Okay? So what Caesar does, he sends his Gallic cavalry on the right wing, and you can fact check me on this, but let me just get to the heart of it.
Okay.
Sends his cavalry on the right wing. Pompey's much bigger cavalry hits him. He has his cavalry pretend to retreat. They fall back. Then Pompey's cavalry goes to hit Caesar's right wing. Caesar tells his legions not to throw their spears, but to hold them like the phalanx, like the Greeks. And cavalry cannot hit pointed formations. They just can't. They won't. In the Napoleonic era, they refuse. If there's a bayonet square, the horses won't charge in.
Right.
They just rear.
Smart.
So they charge in. The guys stab at them. The horses lose their mind. And Pompey's own cavalry retreats and smashes back into his own lines. This is the problem of using allied forces, a mixture of different forces. There's not that chain of command. There's not that ability to go, you go there, you go there. So Caesar's able to roll up his left flank, which, of course, the left flank is always the weaker one.
Right, yeah. Because
So
everyone's right-handed.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So his smaller force is able to roll up Pompey's.
Right.
And so Caesar wins this great victory. Now, Pompey, here's where the story gets a little saucy, and I want to hear your thoughts on it because we're going to meet a dame.
Well, I'm going to have thoughts on
and
sauciness.
The dame of dames, my gal Cleopatra. So
Pompey
is going to flee to Egypt, which is not on that map. It's over here.
Yeah.
He's going to flee to Egypt. Egypt is a part of the empire, but not really. Like the empire at this time, it's still a republic.
Yeah.
They have client kings, right?
Right.
And so
That
Cleopatra is married to her
Interesting.
brother.
Oh. Her own brother?
Not too shabby.
Yeah.
And
there's not
and
a
he's
lot
like
of guys around.
Yeah, it's Egypt. There's
no
only
quality
like
guys here.
No, the idea is actually they're descended from Ptolemy, who is one of Alexander's generals. And so they're Macedonian.
I see. So they're not even Egyptian.
They're not Egyptian.
Right.
And so they would marry their siblings in order to keep the Macedonian line.
Yes, right. Of course.
Right?
That can't
So
be good for the Macedonians' future kids.
Well, I mean, they seemed fine.
Yeah. They're pretty cool.
Cleopatra turned out pretty good.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
all right. Yeah,
Beautiful,
as far as we know.
Milk and honey.
Do we know what that looked like at that time? Like that standard of beauty? What if she really?
I think if she had her teeth and she didn't smell bad. I think
that was pretty much it.
Like she was a genius. She was brilliant. She could write 6 different letters at once, and not like ABC. I mean
6
she'd be like,
different.
A,
she's like
B, C. Like she's a genius.
For someone who married her brother, that's good.
Like for someone who has 8 toes.
No, she would be writing 6 letters at once. She'd be like, "This one's to Steve. This one's to Daniel. This one's to Frank."
These are all
Macedonian names.
Hey, I'm Frank.
If you didn't know, yeah.
Yeah.
But this is just, so she's
Ptolemy,
like
I'm tired of you. You're my brother and my husband. I'm going with Frank.
yeah, so she's basically like a modern day teenager texting
She would have been young.
multiple people at once.
So Pompey
Yeah.
gets there. There's a civil war going on between Cleopatra and her brother Ptolemy.
Okay. Yeah.
Because she's like, this guy sucks. He's ruled by eunuchs. And
gross.
because eunuchs they had a lot of power.
Well,
So,
I mean, they had nothing better to do but think about
That's
stuff.
that's exactly correct. They're like, I have this kind of desire, but it's not for women. I need to get something.
Yeah.
I know, power. That's exactly
like
accurate.
anything
That's actually
else.
going to be one of the downfalls of the Byzantine Empire. Is the eunuchs would become so powerful because if you're not a eunuch, you're focused on other things.
Yeah.
Right? You have kids. You're like, I want woman,
Yeah.
make children.
Big
Now
distraction.
distracted, whereas the eunuch's like, I'm just plotting.
Yeah, it's like, I'm going to think about the physics of
Like,
doing
they're like,
something like
isn't
I don't
Cleopatra
know.
beautiful? I didn't even know she was in the room.
Yeah.
And that's power.
And
That's
it's like,
power.
except I was very impressed by her writing of multiple letters.
The way she
Can
wrote
you teach
C.
me that? Love to learn.
So Pompey shows up, and he expects to rally some of his old allies there.
Yeah.
But Ptolemy realizes, or his eunuchs do, that the wind
For him.
the
yeah.
wind has changed.
Right.
And that Caesar is now the rising sun. Pompey is the setting moon. Setting moon?
That doesn't make sense.
Waxing?
Oh,
Waning.
gibbous.
Waning.
Oh, yeah, waning.
He's the waning moon. That would have been. We'll fix that in post.
Yeah. He's a
So
waning gibbous.
they kill Pompey straight up. They
Right
cut his
on.
head off.
Oh.
They just
In front of
he's like,
everybody?
good to be here. They just bring him in. They're like, yes, come, Pompey, welcome.
Yeah.
So they kill him. Caesar shows up hot on his heels. Okay,
Yeah.
and they go, look, mighty Caesar, we have your great enemy. And Caesar's livid. He's like, you don't do that to a senator and consul of Rome. We are Rome. We'll deal with our own things. They're like, wait. We thought we thought you'd like it, Caesar. We don't have balls. We don't know.
We thought we were just doing something really
we thought this would be cool.
Yeah.
So then Caesar recognizes that there is a civil war going on, which is opportunity.
Yeah.
So he is trying to figure out, how is he going to navigate Egyptian politics? He's in Alexandria.
Mm-hmm.
And then
And who should arrive but
Yes.
King Tutankhamun?
Yes. He's like, welcome. I've brought the Ark of the Covenant.
Indiana Jones. How
It's like,
convenient for you to be here as well.
it is time to open it. Close your eyes.
Snakes.
Yeah. Why did it have to be snakes? So,
snakes.
so Caesar is in his room one night, and a servant, a mighty large Egyptian servant,
A
comes
mighty large Egyptian
in. A huge Egyptian.
Largest I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm bigger, and he has a rolled up carpet, as legend says. He goes, "I have a package for you, Caesar." I have a package for you, Caesar.
Classic rolling up the assassin in the carpet.
I'm a Dodarian. And yeah, Caesar goes, all of his men around him are like, Caesar's. And Caesar's kind of like, I think I know what's in that carpet.
Uh-huh.
I can smell the milk and honey from here.
Cleopatra.
So he unrolls in this
Yeah.
beautiful,
Rolling out the red carpet.
definitely of age woman rolls out.
Right. Okay.
Like, totally,
making sure.
totally of age,
Okay.
terrible. You can't say that.
Yeah.
But so Cleopatra immediately realizes she needs to seduce Caesar to win him to her side. And Caesar's, of course, too clever for this. He's been with women and men all around the world, right?
Anybody you want.
Hey. So, but he recognizes she's far cleverer than her 12-year-old inbred brother, and so he sides with her. He does help her through the power of his legions regain the throne.
Okay.
Maybe, I like to think, they fell in love.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Nice.
whatever. But I like to think, too, that they even they did have a son.
Oh,
She names him Ptolemy Caesarion. And
that makes sense.
yeah,
Was
so he's,
she the Caesarean section?
no.
No,
But,
no, right. She wasn't the first.
Now, of course, at the time,
History's finally making sense.
and then she's like, we need more salad. in our life. And he's like, I'm tired of salad. She's like, don't you speak to me that way. You were so romantic when I rolled up out of a carpet. Where was the romance now? Why don't you take me on a trip down the Nile? And he's like, jeez.
Jeez.
Get me another bottle of wine.
when we did that cesarean.
And then she's like,
Why did it
ever
have
since
to
you
be
had
the
that
first
cesarean,
successful
you've
one?
been. And then she's like, Mark Antony looks at me the way you used to. And he's like, Mark Antony looks at everyone that way. She's like, not like this. Mark
Wait,
Antony's
Mark
like, I'm
Antony
plastered. So Mark Antony
is here?
is Caesar's, one of his generals.
Oh.
And he's just like, he sees Cleopatra and is like, nice.
Where do I know that name from?
Well, he married Jennifer Lopez.
Oh, right. That's the one.
What's one of his dumb songs? I don't know.
I have no idea.
I was about to sing, like, would you dance? If I asked you to dance. That's Enrique Iglesias.
Yeah, that is.
Another
But
great.
he's also Mark Antony.
Well, he's also a great Roman hero.
Yeah.
Enrique Iglesias.
It's true, yeah.
So,
Isn't Mark Antony from Spain?
like Caesar's Mark Antony?
Yeah.
I believe he's Roman. He is a Roman man and a Roman
I
citizen.
thought he was in Spain in some capacity
Pull it up.
in his career.
Yeah.
Let me check.
Pull it
Let's
up.
have a look.
Well, Caesar, as we know, has a lot of connections with Spain, and he will go back to Spain. So Caesar then, so he's been like chilling in Egypt for a year.
I'm going to be doing so much fact fixing in this.
We
in
need
post.
a
It's gonna be
segment just
crazy.
called Tom's Wrong.
It's just the one
Yeah.
big text on screen. Everything's wrong, but enjoy the episode.
yeah, just enjoy. Like we're close. We
Yeah,
are close.
We almost got it.
So-
Mark
so
Antony is not
Caesar
a real
goes to
person.
North Africa.
Yeah.
He goes to Zama there, and
Zama.
and kind of like Carthage, that area.
Okay.
And
I see it there.
there are
Yeah.
the remaining Pompeian
I thought that
forces.
said Zara. Anyways, go on.
Zendaya, I think it says. So he goes there. He fights one last battle against Pompey's forces. Well, second last.
Mhm.
And this is where Cato is. Cato, the great enemy of Caesar, who is like the Stoic. And Cato, after losing the battle of Thapsus, which sounds like something you might get from a woman of the night.
Like Cleopatra.
No.
Oh, sorry.
She's clean, beautiful.
Totally off base.
Yeah.
Honorable woman.
No, she's a
in the
beautiful
carpet.
woman. How dare you? So
Yeah.
so Cato kills himself
Yeah.
at the end. He stabs
no.
himself. And so does Scipio and all these. So
Scipio?
there was a guy named
Sounds
Scipio.
sounds like a peanut butter company in Italy.
Lanolin?
Italian peanut butter. It's the Skippy's version.
Do you like peanut
You
butter?
want Scipio.
Skip it. Don't skip it with Scipio. There it is. That's what I was looking for.
Spread on the Scipio. Anyway,
So
go on.
Caesar, is this? I was re-looking at this. For me, I would head back to Rome like immediately after
Of
Pharsalus.
course, it's so nice there.
Well, and it's the heart of power.
Yeah,
but,
where's Pharsalus again? How far are we going?
Pharsalus is in northern Macedonia.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's got to take a.
So
boat
he goes
trip.
like bingo, bongo, Roberto
Luongo.
Longo. Yeah, right
Yeah.
there. And then he goes to Spain
Mhm.
again and fights the Battle of Munda. Munda! Annie, little Annie.
I can't remember any quotes from Sebulba other than that.
That was not Sebulba. That was.
You sure?
That's the blue.
Oh,
Sebulba's
that's
like the.
Oh, that's right. He's the
Watto.
Yeah, Watto. But remember, Sabadabathia, Sebulba. That's a thug, a real dangerous thug. Sebulba, Mr. Caliber. You know.
Yeah,
and
yeah, I
Jar
know,
Jar's like,
yeah.
wabba, wabba. Like, and Tatooine's based on North Africa.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So then he goes to Spain, whoops the Pompeians there.
It is actually, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, he just.
Yes,
yeah.
I did live in North Africa. so then he goes finally back to Rome. He has his triumphs, right? We haven't talked about the triumph very
Right.
much. These are big parades where all of Rome would gather, and you would haul your defeated enemies. So Vercingetorix has been held in prison, starving
Yeah.
all this time, and Caesar finally like puts him on a pole. And during the triumph, Caesar just is like, yeah. And he's like, do it. And they finally strangle Vercingetorix in front of the Roman people. The Roman people are like, heck yeah, kill him. Cleopatra comes,
That's
right? In
interesting.
gold. She's super
Everybody's hanging out
attractive.
now.
Yeah.
Like, it's like,
and yes, Cleopatra's there.
this is like Real Madrid.
She bows.
when
And
Beckham
Caesar, so
joined
now
the
it's
team.
early 44 BC. So now
Yeah.
we're at the climax of the story. Think about just this, how epic this is. Think about how epic this story is.
It's pretty
You
crazy.
gotta be crazy not want to read this. And
Mm-hmm.
the fact that they haven't made like I would love to see a trilogy, but
Did
like
Cleopatra show up everywhere in a carpet? Do you think? Just like her entrance It's kind of like
Prince Ali, mighty is she, Alibaba. And she's just flying around on a carpet.
yeah, it's like Ben Stiller in Arrested Development whenever he shows up in a scene as what's his name?
Tony Wonder. Yeah.
Did somebody say Wonder?
And he has to like hide quickly, and then
I wonder where.
No.
He's in the dumbwaiter.
no,
I didn't
no,
know we
no.
had taquitos.
So then Caesar does this epic triumph, and the Roman people are like, this guy's like he is. Now, okay, sorry. Can I go back
Don't
to
apologize.
Egypt quickly?
Yeah.
Because there's a sick moment where Caesar goes to the Siwa Oasis. He goes to Alexander's grave.
Oh boy.
Because when Alexander
He's
died,
fanning out.
yeah, he does.
We love.
And he
it.
wears his like best golden armor,
Mm.
and apparently he like
Is this his first visit?
and only.
And
he goes and he kneels and he weeps.
Really?
Because he's like, maybe he knows his end is near. You know, there's something about just the weight of what he has done, and he's at the away, and he weeps at Alexander's grave, and I just love that.
Mm. Yeah, that's how I felt when I went to Chipotle for the first time.
But I wept because of what it was about to do to my
I heard so
undergarments.
much about it. I'd
I
read
was
so
like-
much about it.
I was
I'd
like,
rap.
as I eat this, it's going to destroy my system so much.
Anyways.
So he goes back to Rome, does the triumph, and he is named Dictator Perpetuo. This is dictator forever,
Another great title.
in perpetuity.
Mhm.
And the senators are.
So he's
are-
he's a dictator now.
So then
it's for real.
This is why sometimes people are like he's essentially the first emperor, but he's not.
Right.
That's Augustus. Is
Okay. He's
so
a
let
dictator.
me go through some reforms that he does here. Okay,
Okay.
and rapidly. So he's going to do the Julian calendar.
Oh, we love that calendar.
Yeah, we do.
So,
So
we're on
that-
the Gregorian.
He does
one.
so that they're going to the Gregorian calendar is based on the Julian calendar.
Oh, right. Sorry. I'm
but of course
mixing them up.
July is named
Of course,
after.
Gregorian is after the
Yeah.
the Caesarian calendar. Sorry.
It's true.
Everything's
Women
a
are just getting
Caesarian.
cesarean.
Yeah, it's just like cut that out.
Then
cut that out.
Then he does something nasty. Okay,
Yeah.
and this is what's gonna I think one of the things that's gonna get him killed is he expands the Senate
Mhm.
from 600 to 900, and he brings in some provincial people.
Oh.
So people are like, hey, what are these provincials doing here? Right? Like the Roman elite, the Optimates are like, this is exactly what we were afraid of.
Mm.
He's bringing in, Spanish and Gallic and Greek and all these different people
We don't
to
want
be
these
senators.
voices in
We don't want
the
these
mix.
voices.
Yep.
He then does more land reforms.
Is that really what it is, though? People, they're like, we don't want all these cooks in the kitchen. We want it our way. We don't want change. Okay.
It's the elites holding on to power as they've always done. And what he's doing is he's diluting the power.
Right.
So he's going,
as
guess
a
what?
dictator, he's actually minimizing his power.
No, he's making
no,
sure because
he's-
those
okay.
300 that he appoints, they are now completely loyal to him.
Oh. So he's
And-
fully in charge.
And meanwhile, half of that 600 are also going to be loyal to him just because they're part of his party.
right.
So he's going, it's we talk now about
he
like
has the
like
best
what would
parties.
it be like to it's similar to what's going on is the reshuffling of congressional districts. So
Right.
Texas just, changed their congressional districts. It makes it so that Republicans will most likely get elected. California in response is reshuffling their electoral districts,
Right.
making it so that Democrats will definitely get more elected in. Similar to the idea of like adding more to the Supreme Court.
Right.
Right, stocking the Supreme Court. So if, say, I'm president and I go, okay, we're adding 4 more spots to the Supreme Court, I now get to appoint all of them. Now I've stocked the Supreme Court. That's
And they're all
essentially
my
what he
buddies.
did. And
They're
all
here
my
to vote
buddies.
for me.
Yeah, they're loyal to me.
But this is happening at the state level. So this is in order to keep states blue or red, basically. Or
It's happening at the state level, and then the Supreme Court's at the federal level. You could even go, if I expand, this is why one of the issues America's facing is every president is motivated to expand government and make it bigger, even if they're Republican, even if they're Democrat. Because if you expand government, especially what's under the executive, you get to appoint those people.
Right.
Right? So the original executive, you'd have to appoint like 5 guys. Now you have to appoint hundreds of thousands.
Right.
Right? There's 3 million people who report directly to the president, not directly, but
You
he's
say how many?
3 million. 3 million
3
people,
million people
are
report
employed
direct.
by
That's not even
the-
possible. Most business books say you should have no more than 6 direct reports.
I shouldn't say direct report. He is in command of those 2
he can
million.
tell them what to do
They're his
if he
employees.
remembers them.
Well, that's essentially what executive orders are supposed to be.
Right.
It's like he's telling the federal agencies what to do.
Right.
But that has expanded. And this is essentially what Caesar's doing. He's doing executive orders.
Right.
He's not going through the Senate. So
Which every president does essentially within their first year very
First day.
quickly because they want to get as much done as possible.
Yeah.
Because as it goes on, it's a lot harder and harder to get things done.
Well, especially if you don't have Congress with you. But the dumb thing about executive orders, I'm very much against them. I think they've turned the presidency into an elected monarchy. I think they're not in the Constitution. I don't need to think that. They're not in the Constitution.
Right.
They've slowly developed over the 19th and 20th century.
And who let that slippery slope start?
It's like I said,
That
like
was a good one,
even Abraham Lincoln had to use them because he's fighting a civil war. So Abraham Lincoln, in order to do good things and to keep the Union together, had to make the power of the president increase.
But how do they do that officially if you're saying it's not even in the Constitution?
Well, when you do, you set a precedent. So if you
Someone just did it.
Yeah, like if you do, the executive order, like George Washington did executive orders.
Oh,
it sort of
okay.
replaced the royal proclamation of the British monarchy.
Right.
And so slowly over time, every president just kept one-upping each other. FDR is going to expand. I mean, Teddy Roosevelt's going to expand the power of the executive. FDR is going to, Woodrow Wilson.
So everybody's just slowly moving more and more to big government with an executive
And it's
executive orders.
exponential. It's
Yeah.
exponential. Like
Of course it is.
everyone, it just expands. So like you can elect a conservative theoretically should want smaller government, but once they get into power, they're not motivated to do so, and the government won't necessarily let them do it anyways.
Right.
Like Reagan theoretically he was very much against big government, but he also wanted to fight the Soviets. So he's got to expand the
Well, who didn't?
Yeah, I mean, I'd do it for free. No, you
Honestly, if Caesar was around, he'd be like, the Soviets? Let's get them.
yeah, he would be, and he would have beaten
This is
them
too
for
far.
sure.
The sandals weren't good enough at that time.
It's
and the
true.
horses were too afraid.
The
from getting
difference
speared.
is, like, I think at this time, Caesar's not just fighting wars for the fun of it. He's actually conquering, and he's adding to, whereas, like, the military-industrial complex in the United States throughout the 20th century and currently appears to just be fighting wars just to expand their power and their money. They're not actually conquering anything that would go and benefit the American people. Why are you fighting in Vietnam? Right? Why are you fighting in Iraq?
the war that shifted the perception of war in a lot of ways. Vietnam.
Yeah, it's the war that is just like, let's just keep fueling the beast. Let's just keep fueling the beast.
But they did it for what seemed like good reasons initially to stop the spread of communism. That was always the
We're talking about Vietnam
yeah,
or Iraq.
or Caesar.
Actually, that was Hitler.
Yeah.
So okay.
Guys, we gotta
so
stop communism in
Caesar
Macedonia.
expands the Senate. He does these land reforms. He extends citizenship. So he actually extends Roman citizenship is everything, right? Like
yeah.
remember Paul is a citizen in the Bible.
Oh, that's right.
Roman
He
and
was
so-
quite proud of that too.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it meant that you had rights under Rome. It meant like you could not be just executed for no reason. You had tons of rights. It
That's
was,
why his bros were with him on the road to Damascus, and then
That's right.
bam, humbled.
That's
Kablamo.
interesting.
That's in the ESV. Kablamo.
And
a
kablamo!
little bit loosey goosey.
He reduces debts.
Yeah.
He reorganizes the provinces. He expands Rome's infrastructure. So this is all in like 2 years. He's doing rapid stuff. And he's just pissing off the Senate's senator, the Senate, the Optimates. And Marcus Junius Brutus,
Another great name.
Gaius Cassius Longinus,
Longinus.
Decimus Junius Brutus Albinus, not an American name. Couldn't understand a word. No, people focus on Brutus. I like looking at this character, Brutus. He is descended from Marcus Junius Brutus, who kicked out the last king and established the Republic. So people were calling on Brutus to end Caesar's dictatorship. And
He sounds like a big guy.
yeah, he's a big deal. And
Whereas
the Junii,
Caesar's kind of a bit of a,
yeah,
what would it be? A dandy.
yeah. I mean, by this point, Caesar's a bit older. He's pretty tough,
Yeah.
I think, and shredded.
A foppish dandy.
Yeah, foppish. I mean, I think if you shaved your mustache, identical.
Oh, yeah, totally.
This
This is the only thing stopping me from foppishness.
yeah, and other things.
Yeah.
And so
Well, at least I can dust a cookie.
what the heck? What does that mean?
So you clean off your cookie.
Oh,
before
with
you
your
eat it.
mustache.
Yeah, you don't have to take it that way, whatever you're thinking.
People be like, "Oh, my cookie's got dust on it, John. Could you eat it first?
Give me that cookie."
Let's play telephone." You never got to finish your joke about telephone.
We'll think of something good.
So The coolest part about the fact that Brutus and Cassius start plotting against Caesar and going like, how can we kill him? Is Brutus's mom was one of Caesar's top mistresses back in the day.
Top pick.
Servilia.
Mm-hmm.
She sounds beautiful. No Cleopatra, but she's beautiful.
Yep.
Bit old. But no, she's so you often wonder, like, Brutus kind of viewed Caesar as almost a father figure.
Right.
And Caesar and him were quite close.
Oh.
But
That's not
Brutus
helpful
knows
when you're trying to go and kill a guy.
it's hard to kill people. Well, is
When
it
do
hard
we
to
get
kill
to
people
the
you're close with?
stabbing
Because
part?
generally, aren't most murders of like people you know?
Brutus was one of the
If we
stabbers.
go back to our first episode,
Okay, yeah.
he had it coming.
I forgot about that.
Cicero.
Chicago.
Yeah, so
Cicero.
it's like, I think all those women in Chicago killed their husband.
Oh,
So it's pretty easy to kill someone you know.
Yeah.
They're usually sleeping in front of you.
most
So,
of the time,
all right,
yeah.
so a witch comes up to a witch. A woman comes up
Men.
to Caesar while he's walking in the forum and goes, beware the Ides of March. And he goes, the Ides of March were yesterday, you dumb. No. And she's like, oh, crap.
He's like,
no.
yeah, I gotta go.
She's like, well, I'll see you next year.
Yeah.
No, so she goes, there's this
He's like,
famous...
I'm on the other calendar.
and here's where we like, Shakespeare has this, one of my favorite...
That's why he changed the calendar, so everyone
Yeah.
get their week
Yeah, he's
screwed
like,
up, and
there
they wouldn't
is
be
no
able to
Ides
kill
of
him. They're
March.
scheduled to do it
Yeah.
yesterday.
We're going to kill him on the Ides of March. What
Yeah.
is that?
What is it? I think it's the
the
1st of March.
It's the 15th. It's the middle. That's
Oh,
that's
it's in the
absolutely right.
middle, of
Yeah.
course. Ides, middle.
I celebrate every year. So I celebrate from the 15th to the 17th. So I go from the Ides of March to St. Patrick's Day.
Oh,
I'm just obliterated the whole time.
totally. Yeah,
Just-
that's. Well, I do that too, but I,
I
didn't
start
know
with
about
wine
that.
and I move to Guinness. No,
Yeah.
you can't say that.
Yeah, that's okay.
So Caesar
Speaking
is
of
like,
which,
Caesar's like,
my
well, you're not drinking anything.
Oh.
Caesar, he's like,
you should do a Guinness on this podcast
Yeah,
because this is all Irish history, right?
top of the mind. The name's Julius Caesar.
You heard it here.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm a Roman. I'm a Roman mom. The British.
All I do as a pirate was yar, and then it eventually goes into Irish.
As we know, Caesar did fight pirates.
He did, yeah, and
Yeah,
he
do you
got
remember?
abducted by them, and he befriended them, and then he killed
Abducted
them.
makes it sound. Yeah, he's like
He was.
Yeah.
They captured him.
captured.
And like,
Abducted
"Yar,
is like
where's your treasure?
they're like,
Give us
"Nah,
that
we're
laurel."
Irish. Da, 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 da. And they're dancing jigs for him, and he's like, "Where are you from?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "We're from 19th century Ireland."
18th century.
Sorry,
you idiot.
to the morons back home, it's 1800.
Everything is the 1800s.
So
I'm not good at Irish
Caesar
accents.
gets-
I'll work
and,
on
and
it.
there's all these there's lightning storms. There's all these things. There's these portents.
Stasi.
And Caesar's wife goes, "Don't go to work today, Caesar, please."
Yeah.
And he goes,
He was warned, and he went to work.
"There's
anyways.
all these now. We're mixing
That's
in."
why I don't go to work. I know I'm going to get stabbed.
It's true. I've been the next
Just
time
have a
you like
feeling.
I've got people waiting. The next
Yeah.
time you come into work, get them. They're gonna be these Irish leprechauns just waiting, like just slicing your Achilles tendies.
Yeah,
and
they get me. That's how they get you.
tendies.
Yeah,
So
right in the tendies.
So Caesar,
Yeah.
he's so this is where it mixes in with Shakespeare's play.
Mm.
History is kind of blended here, where Shakespeare writes about a fantastic play called Julius Caesar.
Yeah.
And his wife goes, "Don't go in, please. You're gonna get killed."
Mm-hmm.
And he goes,
Take drugs together to pretend that they're dead,
"Mm."
but they actually kill each other.
Yeah, well, no, yeah, and then yeah.
I got it.
It's hard because you got Romeo and Juliet wrong there because
I know I did.
only Juliet takes the drug
I was
and
trying
then
to think of it. I was
and
like,
then,
oh boy.
Romeo goes, "That's with a kiss I die."
Thinks that
I
she's
love the Claire Danes version.
I was just talking
Dude.
about that the other day, and I was like, I didn't get to that part, but I just was talking about the gas station scene with the guns and thinking about
it's so
how
sick.
cool that
It's
was.
so sick.
It's a great scene.
Glock
Like,
9mm.
Yeah, and it's like he goes to grab
Just
his long
so
sword.
everyone
He-
knows,
he-
yes, I did screw up Romeo and Juliet. I'm sorry.
But it's wild in the Leonardo version where he's taking the poison, he's already swallowed it, and they have her wake up.
while
and he's like,
drinking it.
he's like, oh god. He's like, and they was
See,
like,
back then-
the poison's quick. And
Back then they couldn't throw up.
they didn't know
They just
how.
couldn't. It just no one knew how to do it.
They're like, we invented.
Yeah, that only
no,
came
no.
around in the 90s.
You can't
Yeah.
say that.
Really? Well, throwing up didn't start.
Who invented it? Name the person who invented
came
it.
up with throwing up? Oh, that's a good question.
It rhymes with Princess Diana. No, we can't say it. You can't say it. Take that up. History
we'll
rhymes.
Find somebody else. Yes, history
no,
rhymes.
we'll just say it's her. And God bless her.
The history
The
of
English
throwing
rose.
up. Anyways, go ahead.
So no, sometimes yeah. So Romeo and Juliet love each other very much. No, one of my so I was teaching Romeo and Juliet to a bunch of English nines way back in the day, and there's this great line where the father goes to grab his longsword during the opening battle, Romeo's dad, and the woman's like, "Do not grab your longsword." The wife goes like that, and he says he's supposed to be like, "What ho? Like what ho? Like why are you stopping me?"
Yeah.
And this kid's reading, and he goes, "What ho?" To his wife. Let me get my longsword, ho.
Okay.
And I was like,
And naturally, you had to expel
this is
him.
my first 6 months as a teacher, and I'm like, oh my goodness, there's gonna get a parent email.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that parents don't care.
Yeah,
so
they don't- yeah. And
so of
email
course,
didn't exist at that time either.
yeah, so the email didn't exist. So
Yeah.
so it's the Ides of March. Julius Caesar says to his wife, "Cowards die many times before their death, but the valiant taste of death only once."
That's what he said to the Ides of March
he
chick?
says it to his wife.
Oh, right.
In the play Julius Caesar.
Right.
So he goes to work. He goes to the Senate. He goes to the Curia, where they meet. And Mark Antony is held back because he's kind of a buff, handsome guy. And Caesar was not like there was many assassination attempts throughout his life, and he just was he
He
believed
would
in
just
fate.
dodge them.
Yeah, his little belt.
Yeah. He's like, oops.
Nice try.
That's it. If he hadn't worn the belt, it would have been
Beep,
harder. They would have been like, that
Yeah,
might have
he's
been my
just
body.
Michael-
That might have been my
he's
body.
Michael Jacksoning around. He's, so he believes in fate. Like he believes in fact, he believes in luck and fortune.
Well, who
And
doesn't?
the
we
best,
all buy a lottery ticket every once in a while, don't
we
we?
all the best generals are lucky, right? And that was something that fate had bestowed upon him. He was descended from the goddess Venus, and so he believed. So he goes into the Senate, and they had their knives, hidden in their robes, and they come up to him. And they go, "Caesar, I have an idea for you." And they start I think it was like 60 senators start stabbing at him, and he's just like, gosh, and they're like little knives. So it's like, like that. It's like getting just poked. It's acupuncture.
Yeah.
And then he sees Brutus.
Stabbing.
And Brutus is there at the end, and he goes, "Et tu, Brute," which means "and you, Brutus." And Brutus, and he's just like,
right to the
I had
solar
sex with your
plexus.
mom, and then I'm your dad. No, so Caesar stops kind of fighting, and he surrenders.
He just
and
gives
he
up.
lets Brutus kill him, and he dies at the foot of the statue of Pompey
Oh, the man.
that they had
That he
erected
defeated.
for him. And so thus ends Caesar. Now, of course, that does not. Then he in his will, he bestows the title of Caesar and everything upon his great nephew Octavian. And Octavian makes an alliance with Antony, and they defeat Marcus. They defeat Brutus and Crassus at the Battle of Philippi.
They were going to get their comeuppance eventually.
They did, and then there's all this stuff. Cleopatra's still involved because
And then, of course, after that, they banned knives. And
they did. They're like, no more knives.
No more knives. That's the problem.
Yeah, and essentially,
Chopsticks
Octavian
it is.
Octavian's not a military genius. He doesn't really like fighting. In fact, for the Battle of Philippi, he was ill in his tent, and Mark Antony did most of the work. They divide the empire up between themselves.
Kind of like
and
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon thing.
it's a very similar thing to that in many ways. And
I don't think that's a fair statement. I think they're both hardworking gentlemen.
But in many ways, Jennifer Lopez is the Cleopatra of our day.
Well, she does travel by carpet a lot.
Waiting for tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that she does. That she does.
Anytime I see an end of the roll delivery, I'm like, she
Is
could
she
be
in
there.
King of Floors just has her.
Yeah.
He's like, Sir Scruffy loves Jennifer Lopez. King of Floors is a local commercial.
Totally, yeah. We're totally.
The guy has had
regional, this
several
podcast.
wives.
Yeah.
Um,
And dogs.
So our story ends with Octavius essentially going to war with Mark Antony and Cleopatra. Octavius allied himself with a brilliant general, Marcus Agrippa. They win this naval battle at Actium, and Octavius comes back to Rome, and he becomes Augustus.
Right.
And he is the first emperor, and he rules for many, many years. And that begins this journey that Suetonius covers of the empire. So,
Right.
so Julius Caesar
Is that Augustus there on the
that's
cover?
Julius Caesar.
Oh, sorry.
So
There's too many
yeah,
sculptures.
well, you can always write like so. Julius Caesar, he always has a narrow face. He always has a receding hairline.
Right.
Yeah. So
There's a Caesar in all of us.
the craziest thing when now to go back to Trump, the craziest thing.
Let's rhyme it.
Yeah, well, Trump, he is the anti-establishment.
Right.
And the Optimates, the elites, don't like him, partially because he's part of them, and they feel a sense of betrayal. And he's coming and he's going, we're going to build it, we're going to cut this, we're going to do that. And he wants to kind of do things quickly, like Caesar did. Caesar did land reform, citizen extension, all this kind of stuff. And especially in this last year, Trump is coming, it's like, tariffs are this, and we're going to bomb Iran, and he has just rapidly done stuff. That's not how democracies work, if I could be so bold. Like, it's supposed to be slow. But if we go back,
like building a bridge.
yes, and destroying it in 10 days.
Yeah.
And but if we go back, talk to me about this Julius Caesar assassination success, and how does it rhyme with the assassination attempt on Trump?
Oh my. Well, that's a heavy question.
Right.
I mean, I mean, let's say
There's 1 inch. There's half an inch difference between Julius Caesar and Trump.
Well, that's the thing is like the story we told of Julius dodging assassinations. With
It just
the Caesar.
One of them does. If he had done this,
The Julius Caesar, yeah.
if he had done,
Yeah, and that's what Trump's win was. He
Yeah.
did that. That's what he did. I mean, he stirred the pot. Let's say that much. He's a divisive guy, clearly, but only among the political elite, though. The people seem to love him.
Trump.
No,
Oh, Caesar. Yes,
So if we're
yes.
looking at him, it's
Yeah.
in the last episode I asked, like, well, what do the people think of all this?
Yeah.
They're not really so much in the narrative of these
They're
stories.
a force, right? They vote for consuls. They do stuff like that. But the reason Pompey had to flee Rome was he knew he didn't have the support of the people of Rome. So like by the time Caesar gets here, they're opening the gates,
Right.
right? Because
So they love him.
the guy
but
who's
I
been
guess-
throwing golds, to them from Gaul for 8 years.
Right. So there's an element of that, I guess. There's a strong like for Trump,
Yeah.
but also there's clearly a deeper divide these days.
Yeah.
But how does that align with or rhyme, I guess, with Trump's assassination attempt? Well, he's had a couple, hasn't he? To a degree. That was
Dude,
the
but the
most,
one like this is the one,
that was the obvious
in
one, but there were
Pennsylvania.
people that got caught trying
Yeah.
to get in and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I can't say that I really can
So-
say that it's the same because
Okay.
unless we're making the argument that this was a conspiracy theory where the elites planned to have that shooter on the roof.
I mean, who knows if
Are we getting into that kind of subject matter?
I think it's not that the elites planned it, but there's very suspicious things about that day where like the cops saw him, they were aware of him. There's all sorts of things. The local
That's
police
true.
weren't coordinating with the FBI. But you go more into like, okay, so what if the assassination attempt had failed? Caesar would have been able to use that assassination attempt to propel his career probably into becoming emperor. Right? He would have used that to be like
That's
now,
certainly
which is essentially what like when the assassination attempt happened on Trump and he survived, I'm like, it's not even a contest anymore. And Biden actually steps out of the race a few weeks later because he had such a surge in poll numbers. So he's already this populist. He's already this powerful figure. And then he survives an assassination, especially when he's saying the elites are out to get me and, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Well, I guess that narrative was used and ringing true at the time. So yeah, it is very similar to the assassination of Caesar. But I think that in this day and age, we kind of see these echoes of things. But just because of how fast media moves and how fast it's consumed, the assassination attempts are, I guess, less finite.
Totally.
They always there's always these massive actions that kind of come together. I'm sure these happen in political circles and official meetings and stuff like that back around Caesar's time. But there's a lot of the ability to do character assassination, and in a lot of ways that does sometimes work. in
Yeah.
today's politics.
I think
ain't no one
that's-
out trying to stab somebody a bunch of times.
I think you only do that when you've tried everything else. So I think
Right.
the forces arrayed against Trump tried everything from character assassination, from Russiagate. And I'm not trying to defend him. I'm just saying he was a bull in a china shop.
Right.
And elites on all sides, from Mitt Romney on the Republicans, and he starts calling out rhinos, right? Republicans in name only.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's attacking Congress on all sides. Like, remember poor Paul Ryan and stuff. So that's happening. And so there's character assassinations. There's stuff being dug up from his past. Then we have, he crosses the Rubicon. And part of that is that weird 2020 election where COVID's happening and he's not really doing anything illegal, but he's not also conceding that he lost the election, Joe Biden. And, it's not the same thing.
To Joe Biden?
To Joe Biden. What did I say?
He's not conceding the election, Joe Biden.
To Joe Biden, yeah. And so it's much different than him going like, I'm now going. So I'm not going to go to war with America like Caesar did, because Trump is not a military figure. God help us, honestly, if he was. If he had a military background as well and had army that was like sections of the army that were loyal to him, that's a very dangerous thing.
Well, it's like the landscape of even war has changed so much since then too, right? And that's what I'm saying. It's like the repeating of itself or the rhyming just has taken on a very different form now. Back then, you could march it, you could command an army and take it with you and try to take over something. You just can't do that kind of stuff anymore. Not without lot of serious trouble.
Not in America, right? But this happens. There's coup d'etat all the time.
That's
right?
true
right?
in other
this,
countries.
This happens in Russia.
When did it happen in
Russia?
Russia?
If you look at like the Russian Revolution, where you
where
the guards themselves turned on the Tsar. But I think in
like now times, like right now, it's a lot. You hear of that a lot less often. Obviously, there's other countries where it does. Well, I guess we had that.
Yeah, in the developing world, you're going to have guys like it's literally whoever can control the army can overthrow the current power, and then
it's just with world powers like that. It's a different story now. It's a completely different battlefield now. They talk about how countries are fighting wars through proxy wars, but also through data now. But like I said, it's the way that things can be executed on a character assassination level by manipulating the media. These are things that can happen overnight as fast as a plane can drop a bomb. Like it's a crazy thing.
So that's interesting. So then you go, okay, so what's the modern version of this? And maybe Trump. He rhymes with Caesar in many ways, but maybe there's other characters. Like instead of controlling, you don't need to control the military. You need to control technology. Mm-hmm. So instead, the moderns.
Minds.
What's that?
Minds. People.
Minds. Oh, yes.
Not minds.
And they call it a mine.
A mine.
Roast meat right off the bone. So we look at these tech lords like a Jeff Bezos, like an Elon Musk, like Mark Zuckerberg, who are controlling everything we see. Caesar controlled what they saw. They're controlling the narrative. And they can wield extremely powerful forces that are loyal only to them. Like CEOs, like some of them have they're like Amazon's making more than a GDP of a small country, if not a large country.
It's a lot.
So then you go, okay, what happens when those guys actually decide to claim the power that they already kind of wield? Or are they just going to keep democracy propped up? Because here's the thing about Augustus. Augustus did not take the title of emperor. He called himself princeps. He was first among equals. And he still went to the Senate, and he was just a senator, and he would be consul once in a while, but he ran everything.
Right.
So to the Roman people, they voted in elections. They do, and there was so you wonder, have we not had a democracy in America, possibly even in Canada,
for
decades? No, for decades.
Oh, I was going to say ever, and I did.
And then what actually
have
is
we
democracy?
ever really had a democracy in reality?
We'd have to define what that is, because there's two categories of democracy. There's direct democracy. There's indirect democracy.
People in power. I mean, the founding fathers of the United States. We can talk about, I guess, Canadian stuff too, because we are from there, but obviously America's always at the forefront of our minds. But everybody seems to be kind of giving the people the impression that they're for them, and they're trying to create some form of government where they actually hold power, and they're even retitling themselves. Like, what did you say Caesar Augustus labeled himself?
Princeps.
Princeps. He's shifting the name, but really he's in charge, and he makes these appearances and he puts on this little show, and like everyone's like, oh, we're under a new thing. We're represented by.
And he's getting stuff done.
Yeah, and that people like that, and that happens in this day and age too. But have we really just been living in a world where we're given the perception that we're being represented? I think a lot of people, even if you look at the Trump situation, there's a huge amount of people who feel disenfranchised when certain things happen, certain choices take place, like especially with the tariff things. I've been down to the States recently, and there's this kind of like among the people, obviously there are some people who are very for this stuff. There's some people who are very for this stuff even in Canada. But like there's this sense of like, this isn't my government. This isn't my prime minister. This isn't my president. And like, there's always people who don't feel represented by the leadership, even in people that like kind of tick a lot of boxes. There's always people who are like, I wouldn't have done that though. So I know that that's hard to do, or you can't please all the people all the time. But has there ever been an era in history that a perfect democracy has existed? Would you say that we have lived through it? Or are we just under the perception that things are pretty good and that's the definition we've lived under?
I think you'd have to define what a perfect democracy is. And I think one thing you need for a healthy democracy is an active citizen, like a reflective, educated citizen. And I don't think we necessarily have that anymore. You have to have people who are loyal to the concept of democracy, the concept of their country, their nation, more than they are to individual people.
So the less people participating in the democracy, the more likely it is that it's going to look less like a democracy.
Yeah, or maybe they're participating, but they're being absolutely mindlessly controlled, like Caesar was able to just work the Roman population.
Yeah.
And so I think, I think we do have functioning democracies. I think there's always been issues. The thing about democracy is it's messy. Mm-hmm. Right? Churchill said it's the worst form of government except for all the rest, right? Government is inherently messy. The reason people go like, why are things so crazy in the States? It's because they're free.
Right.
So they care about freedom. So it's going to be messy. So when ICE starts deporting people and being a bit aggressive in Minnesota, whether you agree with that or not, there's protesters fighting back because they actually are angry about certain things. When the Americans will go to the streets, they will actually, whereas a lot of democracies, Canada included, we call it peace, but we actually care about comfort more than almost anything.
It's true.
You push Canadians far enough, they will, like trucker convoy shows, like eventually they will do something, but it's more just like a nice, we're like, there's bouncy castles and stuff.
We have to,
but
that's true. At least they had trucks. They could bring whatever they wanted.
They had trucks and they honked, and like that was as aggressive.
Yeah, you push that. You have to push us pretty far.
But that took
for
like literally
happen.
locking them down for 2 years.
Yeah, and
forcing them to have vaccines and all this kind of stuff. And whether you agree with that or not, fine. But it shows that like it took a lot to push Canadians to that point. And it's always interesting So there's two types of democracy in that there's direct democracy and there's indirect democracy. Direct democracy is a mess. Like the Athenian Republic had a direct democracy where that's where every citizen is voting on every decision.
Right.
And you're rotating leaders constantly and all this kind of stuff. So like the 6,000 Athenian citizens would go in and they would vote. They would some of their greatest leaders died in exile because it was just like who can control the masses. So the founding fathers of America, and Themistocles being one of them. So the founding fathers of America realized you need a central government. You need a strong federal government. Especially George Washington recognized that because he was fighting the Revolutionary War with no currency, no centralized government. He was just barely holding things together. There'd be people like the farmers.
No standing army.
What's that?
No standing army.
No standing army. The guys don't have shoes. Congress can't tax. And so they're like, when they went to write the Constitution, like we actually need a centralized army or centralized government. So you need that, and we need it to be indirect, where people are voting for people who will then go and make decisions. One of the things I don't really like is when you vote for someone and they make decisions that are completely opposite of what they said they were going to do. Mm-hmm. Bill Clinton liked to do this. George W. Bush did this. Like George W. Bush had no knowledge of foreign policy. Like when he was elected in 2000, he was all about like, jobs and we're just going to make, we're just going to do it. And then 9/11 happens and all of a sudden he's like, now I'm the foreign policy president. He barely can, and I hate to say it, he can barely find Iraq on a map at the time. And
he had done some kind of a backpacking trip through Europe
or the Middle East.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, this is like Texas. So like it's bad. Like when Trump, this first year, like he's done a lot of things that he didn't necessarily talk about when he was running. And that's where I think it gets tricky, where if you're constantly in an election cycle, which the United States is, people are never actually governing. They're only just governing to get elected again. So it's hard to actually have them do the right thing. That's where you need unelected parts of your government. So in Canada, our upper house is the Canadian Senate. It's unelected. It's appointed by the Prime Minister.
Mm-hmm.
In the United States, everyone's appointed by the Prime Minister. But
in Canada.
in the United States, I think it's important to have the Supreme Court appointed. Up until 1917, I think I mentioned this last time, up until 1917, the American Senate was voted by the state governments. Right. So you could, so I think the beautiful thing about the American system and the Canadian system is its flexibility and its adaptability. So let's say finally Americans wake up and they go, our president is too powerful. Well, we have the ability, the amendment formula, to actually curtail his power.
Yeah.
And I think that needs to happen.
That sounds like a great idea. But currently you have the House, the Senate, and then the president, right? These are all designed to curtail that power and spread it out.
And the judiciary.
And the judiciary. Yeah. Judas Iscariot.
Let me give you a kiss. Actually, no, you kiss me.
Yeah. Anyways.
That's a good place to stop, Judas.
No, it's not. We still have another 45 minutes.
We've been going
Well, I think the lesson that we've learned
Let's
here
keep it going
is
for 45 minutes.
I like democracy. You like democracy. Can't we all be friends?
But here's the thing.
Oh.
Is no. Here's the thing is like, do people actually want democracy, or do they just want the person that they like to be in power? And
it's gotten a little bit too, what would you say, cult mentality around a lot of people.
Yeah, well, and also like,
or a few people.
I don't know to it, like, okay, if you ask the average person, would you rather have freedom, or would you, and it's messy and possibly dangerous, or would you rather have comfort and safety?
Well, are you asking me that?
No,
what
do you think the average person is going to... It's like, would you rather where you get to go to your job and you get to go and you get to eat, you skip the dishes, take your medication, take your marijuana gummy, and then you just get to vegetate and you're just in a full, essentially brave new world state. Where
we're not advocating for taking marijuana gummies with your medication.
No, I'm saying, but we live in this over medicated world.
Yes.
Because we actually just want to be numb. Human beings, of course we want to be numb. It's why human beings have always wanted to be numb. Democracy is dangerous. It's messy. It means you have to actually engage in tough things. I don't know how much the West wants that anymore. So that's why I actually became a history teacher and a social studies teacher, to be like, hey, kids, this actually matters. Safety's good. Security's good. But it has to be balanced out with freedom.
It does.
Because you know what the safest places in the world are? Dictatorships. For visitors.
They have a booming tourism economy.
You're like, oh man, there's just, the streets are clean and there's not gum on the sidewalk. Where'd that guy go? Just spat his gum out. He's been taken away in a van. All right. Right. So, so it's like, when Augustus became emperor, or when he took over, he said Rome was made of brick. And when I left, it was made of marble. When it was finished. Dictatorships get things done. They do.
And then he said, all roads lead to Rome.
History rhymes.
History rhymes, folks. Hey, it's been an honor to be here with you to speak about our history and our current state of the world.
Yeah.
And find out how it rhymes. This podcast has been brought to you by the Speakeasy Podcast Studio, where the words come out easy and the drinks go down easy as well.
While you're speaking,
and sometimes we choke. Anyways, we want to thank you again. And that has been History Rhymes with Tom, whatever your last name is, and Jono, whoever I am, and of course, Danny on the drums.
Danny on the drums, Johnny on the drums. Yep, good to be here.
Thank you for joining us for the History Rhymes podcast, possibly the greatest podcast in history. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, catch you later, historians.